Hi, Bishop family. My name is Noelle Quinn, class of 2003. Super honored to be a part of Alumknight Speaker Series. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I attended Bishop from 1999 to 2003. I had an amazing time, an amazing 4 years at Bishop. I played both volleyball and basketball. After Bishop, I attended UCLA on a basketball scholarship. I graduated in 2007 with a degree in sociology. That same year, I was drafted into the WNBA by the Minnesota Lynx. I had a 12-year playing career. 10 of those years, I also played overseas. I capped off my professional basketball career with a championship in 2018, playing for the Seattle Storm. I'm currently coaching with the Storm, and last year, 2020, we also won a WNBA title. At Bishop, I'm the head girls basketball coach. I assist in the athletic directing office, as well as coordinator of diversity, equity, and justice. You know, when I think back on my high school time, my high school years, I tend to smile because I had an amazing time. I created a lot of memories with my friends, with my peers. And when I had an opportunity to come back to Bishop to coach, it was a no brainer for me because I wanted to give back to a place that gave me so much. I wanted to give back to a place that enriched my life so much. So when I think about the things, especially the values that I learned along the way from my teachers, from my coaches, from my peers, it really set the tone and the foundation for the woman that I am today. I think about this consistent work ethic that I learned, not only to apply it on the basketball court or the volleyball court, but also to apply that in the classroom. Challenging myself with honors and AP courses, as well as challenging myself to be an elite athlete. There are some sacrifices that had to happen along the way. I remember at lunch, sometimes a lot of the times, I would be in the library completing my homework because I knew that I had strenuous practices after school and I would get home late. So the goal was to stay on top of my schoolwork and get ahead of the game so that I wouldn't be overloaded by the time I got home. Was I perfect in that? No. There were a lot of tough times in that, but it really, again, set the tone and set the foundation for me for what it meant to be a hard worker and a consistent hard worker. The other value I think about is this motivation factor. A lot of times people ask, what motivated you while you were playing, or what continues to motivate you? And I always dive deep into thinking what it is. And for me, it always points to one person. It's my mother. My mother was an educator for 35 years. And so I knew firsthand the sacrifices that she made for me and my sister. We didn't have everything, but we had more than enough. And to see her always at my games, yet always working so hard in her field, that inspired me so much to the point where even today, in everything I do, I strive to honor her, I strive to represent her well, and I strive to make her proud. So those values, working hard consistently and really understanding why I'm doing it, my motivation, were really the driving forces to propel me to succeed in whatever I chose to do. My journey hasn't been easy. Though I've been successful in a lot of ways, I've had some challenges. I've had some bumps in the road. I've had some adversity come my way. When I think back on the times that I had to go overseas and play, being away from home for so long, being away from family and friends in order to sacrifice to have a career, those were some really, really hard times. I think about a time in particular. I was playing in Italy, actually my last year, my 10th season overseas. And I remember this day as if it was yesterday. I received a FaceTime from my sister, and she informed me that my mom was a little sick. She had become a little ill. And right then and there, I was shook to the core because I was so far away from her that I wasn't even able to be by her side in that moment. My superwoman needed her superwoman at that point, and I couldn't do anything physically because I was so far away from her. Though I was able to communicate with her, for me that wasn't enough. And I remember telling myself that that would be my last season playing overseas. Something happened to me, a sudden change happened that then shifted my perspective. One of my favorite inspirational speakers, motivational speakers, Inky Johnson, talks about when you have a sudden change in your life, it then shifts your perspective. Now your perspective drives your performance. For me, my sudden shift was that my mom became ill. I didn't know that that would happen. I never thought that would happen. Thank God she's doing well today. But that in turn shifted my perspective in that basketball at that point in my life wasn't as important. I had 10 amazing years playing overseas at that time. Now it was time for me to pursue another passion and be in the presence of my family and my mom a little bit more because I no longer wanted to miss important moments. And within my perspective shift, I was able to then find out that I was passionate about coaching, and now my perspective has driven my performance, and that I strive to be the best coach that I can be today. When I think back on the year that we've had, we all experienced sudden change that shook us to the core. A pandemic, witnessing social injustices, civil unrest, distance learning, working from home. All these things shifted our perspective. And it's so interesting to think about life and understanding that adversity is always going to happen. We can't avoid it. But it's not necessarily the adversity that matters, more so than how we react to it and who we are in those difficult times. One of my favorite Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. quotes says, "The ultimate measure of a man or woman is not where he or she stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he or she stands at times of challenge and controversy." And so for me, in my personal experience, I strongly believe that adversity has strengthened my faith. In those moments, I tend to remind myself to trust in God. He reminds us that if he is for us, who can be against us? He tells us we are more than conquerors. He tells us we are fearfully and wonderfully made. So when I'm going through difficult times, when I'm going through uncomfortable situations, when I'm going through challenges, I want to get grounded in who I am and in my faith, because then I know whose I am. I am a child of God, and the promises that he provides for us will equip us with whatever we need to get through the adversity, with whatever we need to get through the difficult times. I would just like to encourage you all to embrace the discomfort, because it is in those moments where we grow the most. The next thing I would say is don't worry so much about the things that are outside of our control. As a coach, I always say, control your controllables. You have an ability to control your attitude, your effort, your focus, your dedication, your passion, your spirit, your energy. When entering different environments, whether it be your classroom setting or your sports or with family and friends, when you control your controllables, everything else falls in line. The last thing I would say is to enjoy your moments. We don't know what the future holds. We can't get our past back. But if we are intentional about immersing ourselves in our present moments, wow, we find so much more value in our life and value in impacting the lives of others. Be where your feet are. Thank you so much for letting me spend this time with you. You guys encourage me so much. You inspire me so much. The resilience you've shown, the dedication you've shown throughout this entire year, it is truly amazing. I commend all of you. If I can ever be a resource to you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Once a night, always a night. Much love.